Right, hello chat. Hello. I am back. At long last. Have fun, in inverted commas. That's always a good sign. Butcherslop or Artgem. Oh god. Yeah, I have obviously not done any of this just yet, because I don't play Limbus Company all too often, but here we are. Oh, that's interesting that you can scroll up like that. Anyway, here we are. Funeral. Hello, Frosty, welcome. A funeral was held for Martin and the LCD researchers today. I thought I'd seen my fair share of deaths throughout my journey with the sinners, but never before I had witnessed this many people gather in one place to mourn the deceased together. The unfamiliarity made me feel a bit out of place. Am I doing this right? Most of the sinners seem to be feeling that similar sense of being out of their element as well. Some are asking Maso, apparently. I wonder why Maso knows about funerals. Foreshadowing is a literary device. Also, he doesn't know about funeral process and etiquette. That's like the entire point of the start of the book. Yeah. Question of points. Expressing respect is the primary purpose. Hand placement and gesture are important if the objective can be accomplished. How do you know that? You don't know that. That's the reason he gets judged at the start of the book is because he doesn't know how to act properly. What the fuck did I read when I checked notice before you to write that title? I thought it would be funny. Let me hold it. It's a bit low. What's that? Okay, no, that's too high now. That was a good distance. The problem is, so I need to explain. My chair is in a weird place right now. And the reason it's in a weird place, because normally I don't move my chair, as you can tell by the fact that, like, this is carpet here. I don't normally have to move it, my chair all too often. But last night, you received a gift. It's always an ominous way to start a stream. Let's not have my entire Steam open up. What gift did I just receive? Hold on. Well, thank you, CVT. That about covers a Lucio. Yeah, no, you're right. That about covers a Lucio. Oh, open up my auto clicker. DMs. I honestly can't see your DMs, CBT. I genuinely don't know where you've gone. Alright, yeah. Anyway. Lesbians, yes. That was indeed the donation. You don't want Lucio? Okay, Lucio goes back to the Shadow Realm. Anyway, hey, where do I put this? Beneath the third pillar on the right. Can any of you quit chattering for 1 second? Have you all forgotten the instruction to carry yourselves with solemn propriety that befits the occasion? Cut me some slack. I haven't been to funerals all that much. I mean, I did tell you to read the manual. I even underlined all the important parts to you. How do they get a manual for that? What? Oh, okay, I see. Right, Lucio today has been joined by someone else. And now their image is even smaller for some reason. There we are. They can both sit down there. Anyway, slightly the wrong intervallo for them, but still. Sorry, Issue, the wall of text is just too much for me. My focus started fizzing out from page 30 onwards. Alright, to continue my story. So, my chair is really far out at the moment, because I don't normally use it, but I was just, like, doing stuff on my PC. Right? Just doing stuff on my PC. And randomly, out of the blue, it all went dead, and I couldn't turn it off. Genuinely, pressing the power didn't work, so I had to move my chair out of the way to get to my PC to click the power button at the wall, and then do that. But because I moved my chair, I'm not sure where my chair goes now. So I'm just, like, really awkwardly out from the desk now. I feel like. Which is why, like, yeah, no, because currently my arm is, like, really far forward. You can see it in shot, which you normally wouldn't be able to do because I could rest it. but I'm not sure. And also moving my chair is a pain, so like it's not something I want to do all too often. If I pay you like $2, can I get you to turn the lights on in your room? I hate to break it to you, but they are on. I don't, like... Can you not see right there? I'll show you what it's like when they're off. Just to demonstrate. It gets darker. Also, wow, that is a lot of light emanated from my light, so... It's so damn dark. Yes, I do have very bad lighting in my room. Still. Hello, sir. Welcome. God damn, the room's dark. Yeah, why do you think I don't include my face in videos? I can't actually include my face in videos because the quality would be too grainy if I like did a... Because I have like a full thing of myself. But like, look, if I do like this, you can see the pixelation. Like, it's... And it gets worse, by the way, if I turn this off. The majority of the light that lights me up comes from my, not ring light, but like, plate light. Otherwise, I'm stupidly dark. Anyway. Let me turn that back on so I actually look like I have a reasonable amount of lighting. Could you make the image bigger? I will make the image ever so slightly bigger. Yes, there you are. Anyway, yeah. Anderson attended a funeral before, back when we set foot in that grim manor in Teacorp. Ah, thou speak of the funeral held in young Heathcliff's manor, dost thou not? The one bereft of... Accidentally clicked too fast. The one bereft of the dead. Bereft of the dead? I mean, someone had to have died, because there wouldn't have been a proper dispute big enough to involve the Ufi Association notarization otherwise. It wasn't the Ufi Association, it was the ring. You need to buy a lamp. I have a lamp. Let me show you. Hold on. I turn on my lamp, and it gets no brighter. I don't know, like, my room isn't that dark. Come on. Turn that back off again. You can see me. I'm not that dark. It's just that I'm in the corner of the room. There are no lights here. Like, just to show off. Like, hold on. Look, there's my ceiling. I can't fit any more lights there. I don't know what you want from me. I can't magic up more wall space to put lights in. That's not... I'm not an architect. So this is now really weird. Hold on. Let's just... Like, what do you want from me? Like a standing lamp. Have you... Like, you haven't seen my desk. I don't have enough space for a standing lamp. I barely have enough space for the stuff I've got. Can you show up how to do Furioso IRL? Sadly, I probably won't be able to afford every single weapon. The cosplay goal would have to be slightly higher. Anyway, just an international anomaly to prevent family strife. But no, I don't understand. Ishmael just has memory loss issues. They weren't the Ufi. They were the ring. That's not... We know they were the ring. There's no helping it. Forsooth, 'tis a pity that dead weren't named at their own funeral. The name of deceased was... It was Catherine's funeral. She was very dear to Heathcliff. I thoroughly reviewed the 5 years' worth of local newspapers turning the matter, yet no name relevant to the case was identified, manager. Like, I don't... That's stupid. We know they weren't the Ufi. We know they weren't the Ufi. You can tell they aren't the Ufi because they use the ring pointillist attacks. Like... Okay, that's... She forgot. She forgot. They sneaked in as the invited Ufi? But the whole point was that they weren't Ufi at all, right? Because the entire purpose was that we find out all along they can't have been the Ufi because they're not following proper procedures. And the reason they're not following proper procedures is because nobody's died. They're just a bunch of ring pointerlists they've paid off to say, ah yes, act like you're a ring oofy person, because it's NCorp's entire distraction there. Because Catherine isn't dead. That's the fundamental thing. Everybody in the manor but us knows that Catherine isn't dead there. That's like the entire point of the canto. If you consider sin as a little stupid, true. Calling the ring Butcherslop is so good. Yeah, I like calling them Butcherslop. It's quite funny. It's fine, Clockhead. At least you remember. That's good enough, innit? It had to be the Golden Bow's influence. Somewhere along the way, everyone's memories of the event at Wuthering Heights become warped. Sinners seem to think that the Golden Bow has always been there in that manner, and that was coaxed into stealing it by Herman. Linton, in their minds, was now a grieving brother who'd been conducting research for his dead sister's sake. Nobody questioned it. Not Don Quixote, not Faust. Every single sinner believed the twisted version of the memories if it was proven fact. Heathcliff and I gave up on trying to correct them. Instead, we just checking each other's memories every now and again. Because if somebody I realised it was that anything tied to Catherine had already been painted over. No way. A reference? Every detail gilded and glossed over with the glow of the bow. Have you considered we literally retcon the canto? Okay, that's more reasonable, I suppose. The point is, how should I put this? The circumstances of that funeral didn't exactly leave us much room to properly express our condolences back then. Between Heathcliff running a rampage and that Hindley guy bent on interfering with the execution of the will. I assume that sort of impediment was pretty common stuff at funerals, but apparently not, huh? No, well, I think it's actually rare to see a place that follows proper funeral procedures. I've travelled around quite a bit myself, but I can't comfortably say I've ever been to a legitimate funeral. The one at Wuthering Heights was one of the more proper funerals, if only for pretending to have a process. They at least prepared a coffin and even had a formal reading of the will. It seems funerals are far from being an everyday custom in the city. Funerals are considered a rather extravagant practice here as well. Corporations are not eager to grant time off just because it's irrelevant someone has died, and the price of real estate seldom makes it viable to buy land and erect memorial houses on it. Then, what options do people usually have? We used to just leave them where they died, and after one night's sleep, the bodies were gone, just like that. Better than paying loads of money to bury him somewhere, just to have that stir up a load of daft rumours, eh? Rumours? You know, rumours about leaving valuables buried with the bodies, or an arm being some fancy prosthesis, or all that rot. Better let the dead go in peace than to bury them in a grave just for some sods to later desecrate it. In Artgem, people tend to set up graves if they have enough room to spare. Of course, there wasn't a guarantee they wouldn't lose the burial room by the next restructuring day. Hohenheim scoffed and hung his head. Otiose foolishness, all of it. Comforting the soul of the departed? Another mendacity, yeah. All those funds so carelessly squandered, all for the purpose of furnishing the living with a fragile excuse to cling on. Are those words from his heart, or just something said to convince himself? Whichever was the truth, I couldn't see the look in his face with his head tucked so low. The funeral didn't last long. It was just a brief moment of silence, followed by a few quick goodbyes that were shorter still. The ceremony came to a close once Alyssa, who was still in recovery, came to pay her final respects. The flames devoured the coffins of Martin and the other researchers, announcing the end of their existence with the crackle of firewood. So, I suppose you'll be leaving now? Oh, we're staying until Gregor's stable enough to travel. Dante says we'll remain here until Gregor's condition settles. Ah. Gregor came to his senses again a few days after his unforeseen metamorphosis in the battle against the Thumbnurse father. He was given a checkup, and Hohenheim said there's no cause for concern. Physically, that is, the psychological assessment turned up disastrous, to say the least. Gregor was declared unfit for combat deployment for the time being. He's not going to be on field for another intervallo. So you won't be leaving just yet. Good to know. Then I assume you'll be okay with us borrowing Sinclair for a while? Me? Yes, you. The LC wants to look into the sign you manifested, Sinclair. The higher-ups didn't waste a second greenlighting the project, which means what I'm telling you is more of a notice of investigation than a request for permission. Huh? What investigation? What are you... It's just a rather rudimentary instance of human experimentation. Calm yourself. Human experimentation? Did you really have to put it like that, boss? Not to worry, Sinclair. A swipe or two on your skin and maybe some talk therapy. That's all there is to it. Of course, if we had your consent, the avenues of research could be vastly... No, I'm not giving you my consent. For your reference, the other departments have also submitted some quite enthusiastic requests for research and observational purposes. Oh, you have no idea. Way to get boss to fend off the LCA's Mirrorworld Observatorium department in their hissy fits. They want to be the first ones to get their hand on you and spearhead the research, you see. Huh? And, had we allowed them, they'd have kept you for a good few months before letting you go. It's the least you could do to thank us and be a good boy and cooperate. Wild choice of words there, Alyssa. Just in time. Our researchers are here. Alyssa waved at the researcher who were filing out of the funeral hall after paying their respects. It wasn't long before Sinclair found himself surrounded on all sides. Wait, I'm perfectly capable of walking there on my own, so just don't run any painful tests on me. Of course, of course. Stay strong, Sinclair. All I could do was to offer unspoken encouragement to Sinclair, who sounded ready to collapse into full-blown panic any minute. What about you? You not going with him? Oh, it's back to the long-term recovery ward for me. I always thought scientific research was the one thing that flamed my passion, but with the recent events having introduced me to the merits of paid sick leave, I realised that time off beats research projects in my book, marginally. Enjoy it while it lasts. I highly expect that every request for paid overtime submitted by a department will be rejected for the rest of the year. Or paid time off. Well, it's true, your average corporation doesn't give more than a week off a year. As soon as the lists are trudged off with their dragging steps, the researchers see Sinclair and whisked, carried really him away. Alright, we should get going too. Oh, do you all have someone else to be? Well, I thought I'd go visit Gregor. I'm worried about him. Got something I said I'd help with. Gotta be there for it. I'm going with Sinclair to get some rest. Also to keep an eye on the research and stop them if they're trying anything fishy with the experiment. But, yes, fish. Fish indeed. Fish mail. Let me know if you need anything, Dante. The sinners fanned out in different directions. They seem to have their own errands to run during our stay at the LCE. Everyone's busy with their own thing. The only ones keeping me company now were Ryoshu, who had been filling the air around thick with cigarette smoke, and Don Quixote, who was sniffing and asking around at every corner for Vesper, in a valiant quest for the new colour fixer's whereabouts. Faust was still here too, staring blankly into the air. Is she accessing the Gesellschaft? We seem to have some time to spare, manager. As I stood there, wondering what I should do next to pass the time, Honenheim, who had apparently finished tackling and signing the stack of papers, walked over to me. This makes things rather convenient. There's something I intend to discuss with you and Ryoshu, a matter that requires your assistance. What kind of assistance? What kind of assistance, says Clockhead. Wait a minute, did Ryoshu just step in as my interpreter? It's not that I don't appreciate a gesture, especially since you usually snap at me and tell me to find someone else to interpret whenever the issue came up, but I can't help but doubt whether our choice of method of interpretation actually accomplishes anything. There is, I must admit, a certain novelty in witnessing the reconstitution of that which requires interpretation into yet another linguistic form equally demanding of it. It would seem we are in need of more manpower. Scratching his head, Honenheim looked around for a moment before coming to a sudden pause as though an idea had crossed his mind, and the end of his gaze was sudden someone who was busy badgering LCCA employees with a relentless questioning. Who else, pray, might know where he is if thou knowest not? Now listen closely, the one I seek is a bearer of hair fashioned in the likeness of a bowl. You there, why don't you join us too? Huh? Dost thou speak of me? The LCCA personnel, who were cornered by Don Quixote in a rather forceful interrogation regarding Vesper's whereabouts, took the opportunity and fled the scene without so much as a backward glance the moment the cat turned her head to answer Honenheim. Indeed, this is a task that requires your assistance. But I have more words to try with the most noble yellow harpoon. You seek to emulate the virtue of chivalry. Does that entail turning down the earnest plea of those in need? They figured out how to move sprites again. For the sake of clarity and distinction, it would be prudent to assign you a different identifier from that of my assistant. You are to be number 2. That is, assistant number 2. I have not yet concluded mine exchange with the yellow harpoon, but no true knight would abandon those who call for aid. Pray, speak thy quest. How may I be of service to thee? Delegating the interpretation of the manager's speech to Sinafor has proven to be counterproductive. As such, your task will be to report to me what the manager says. Oh, that is indeed a simple task. However, this... WKOA? Huh? This... I feel like I'm... Am I just forgetting what was said? What kind of assistance? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Allow me a little time to uncover its mystery. Relay the manager's words, not Ryoshu's. They're asking you what kind of assistance you need. Hello, Inquisitor, welcome. The request for interpretation is not directed to you, but I cannot deny that your meddling, in the present circumstances, is a welcome one. It was simply that the irrationality and efficiency of a suboptimal staffing choice and workflow have become sufficiently unbearable. Faust hopes this was not some guileful scheme designed to elicit Faust's cooperation. In any case, manager, this request of mine concerns an investigation of the back doors located in the House of Spiders. I deem that the two of you should be the ones most familiar with the structure and layout of the house. After all, you were the ones monitoring the entirety of the five-pronged assault operation, and Sinafor's familiarity does not bear repeating. She can't really remember it now, right? Flatten a rage bait. Do we go to the House of Spiders right away? Has the spiders right away? You have assisted enough. Perhaps you could help, Faust. Sure. Although not word for word, Faust relayed my intention to Hohenheim, who responded by shaking his head. Not immediately, no. There is one more member you should bring along. One more member? Seeing me tilt my head, Hohenheim pushed up his glasses. The apprentice who was captured alive in the House of Spiders. Kira. She's regained consciousness. Cool. She has some memories? Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I feel like Roche is getting red mist due to Spider-Bot open close. She has so many... Honestly, I was surprised there weren't red mist references in the Kanto itself. That's the reason why I thought Roche would get red mist, but still. We are meeting Kira again, we are indeed. The place Hohenheim led us to looked more like a less like a recovery ward and more like an interrogation chamber. Though, in every single medical equipment installed around seemed to be state-of-the-art. This place looks well-equipped. Probably a more direct order from upper management. Although technologies to restore lost body parts are common enough in the city, a facility of this kind is required to preserve the original form of a lower body in the reconstruction process while keeping the cost reasonable. Reasonable, huh? Do I ask how expensive the other operations are if this counts as reasonable? A windowless room thick with the sharp scent of medicine and chemicals. Kira was sitting on the bed in the center of the room, kicking her feet as she regarded us. For someone recovering from bisection, she didn't look too much different from how she'd appeared when I'd seen her through the cinna's shared vision. Counterpoint, she now has a massive cut through her, chest. She was captured alive for the extraction of information, yes? How far along is the process of extraction? It hasn't begun, actually. We're just waiting until the lines of information that warrant questioning can be isolated. So far, all available personnel have been fully engaged in analysing the documents and items discovered in the House of Spiders. Then what's she even doing here? There's work to be done contingent upon information obtainable only from a recent inhabitant of the House of Spiders. And following a discussion with the upper management, I decided to put you to use as the company had originally intended. No TV, no comic books, just a super prickly glare and a cold shoulder whenever asked for something to pass the time. And now you suddenly need my help, huh? Give me your own reason I should cooperate. Hohenheim didn't so much twist an eye about Kira's biting tone. He merely gave a nod with a steely, imperturbable expression. I didn't ask for your help. Put you to use, I believe, is what I said. What? Your survival is not incidental. It is the result of calculation. The company anticipates potential profit by keeping you alive. Expected gain as the time goes. Without such a forecast on the company's part, you would have already been disposed of. The upper management considers people who would be disinclined to tolerate the daily maintenance and depreciation costs of this room. Oh yeah. Even at half their current numbers. Which brings us to our next point. Should you insist on maintaining this uncooperative attitude, the company may decide to convene a meeting to reassess your worth, or, shall we say, lack thereof in its projected income statement. Well, suffice to say such a reassessment would skew heavily against your favour. The outcome would be a recommendation for immediate disposal. Hohenheim always has a way with words that could prickle and sting. Jesus. Just threatened. Like, we're going to kill you if you don't cooperate. With Kira, Anastasia traded the usual thorn off for a sharper knife, intent on twisting it right where it hurt. I'm dead meat as soon as my usefulness runs out anyway. It's not like you're gonna let me live, not if I killed a bazillion of you guys. So you anticipated some form of a corporate-level retaliatory response against your person. That is indeed a curious level of reasoning. Then I must tell you that, unlike a typical backstreet syndicate such as the Middle... Typical backstreet syndicate, he says, going on to name one of the 5 fingers. That is a choice, okay? Corporate entities of the city tend to avoid choices that may incur losses. The value of information that can be extracted from an apprentice of the Middle, and the combat prowess honed in the tutelage of a great brother of the Middle. These two considerations are likely what increased your value in the eyes of the company. Is that not the definition of typical? I suppose, but typical is generally like run-of-the-mill, I would say, compared to one of the 5 groups that controls the backstreets. Heh, you got zero self-respect, huh? You should consider yourself fortunate. Huh? The heck are you on about? Other companies would not solicit your cooperation by means of a verbal exchange. Your interrogator would simply open your cranium, harvest your brain, and extract any and all necessary information without going through intermediate steps such as this. No way, a log court reference. Even without resorting to such methods, the range of available means to compel the disclosure of information is practically limitless. Truth serums, hypnotic suggestions, electrical shocks, and stimulations, and of course, procedures utilizing distortions and abnormalities. That being said, the LC department prefers to distance itself from such uncivilized approaches. That may entail complications and after effects, Mio, hello bacon. I see. This, I just need to mention, by the way, oh, so let me move chat. This is one of the only stickers that the Library of Ruina has. Genuinely one of the only stickers. It's hilarious. Yeah, no. That's Mio. Anyway. Because, like, hold on, let me pull up Steam. Because I do want to bring this up, just because I find it really funny. There is basically nothing in the point shop. Like, here we are. Here is the point shop of the Library of Ruina. You have Angela Solitary, then one, like, hold on, how many floors? You have 4 of the floors. You don't even have all of the floors. You have philosophy, natural sciences, art, and literature. Then you get Angela Reading and the Reverberation Ensemble. Then, for some reason, unbeknownst to me, you have Mio, you have Roland, you have Laisha's Heart, then, like, yeah, Rose, oh, it's what? Ebony Queen's Apple? Or, no, what's it called? Snow White's Apple? I can't remember what the Lobcorp version is. Angela, and Teddy Bear Angela. That's it. That's all you have. Like, I don't understand. It just doesn't make sense to me. Snow White's Apple, thank you. Okay, that being said, the LC department for us distance itself from such uncivilized approaches that may entail complications and after effects. I do hope that we share a similar predilection. You're so freaking annoying, you know that, mister? The feeling is entirely mutual. What happened to him? He just got really angry. Honenheim, time towards the exit. Give her some push and bring her along. I don't quite seem to be myself today. No, disregard that. That too is rather a foolish thing to say. I will defer this matter to you, manager. Work of this sort likely falls more within your capabilities than my own. Jit, his friends died. Yet to Callisto. To Callisto, Kira is just a random girl. Kira didn't even remotely kill anyone. Like, I guess researchers. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. I suppose it does make sense. He's still mad that his friends died in general. That's fair. That is true. That is true. That is true. You've got a fair point there. You've got a fair point there. That is, yeah. His reaction was understandable. The LC had only just finished laying its dead research to rest. Kira's probably the last person anyone will want to face right now, much less speak to. What did you even say to Preseda? I still caught in thought when someone, quite unexpectedly, made away to Kira. Yoshihide? You. How'd you got stabbed in the back by Matthias? That's not true. Pep wasn't landing a fatal blow unless he cut through me too. That's why he did exactly that. Same for the enemy's head. Besides, he made the right choice. A little sacrifice in a thing in a family. Family. Coming from him. A middle mutt thrown out of his kennel. Doesn't it sound ridiculous even to you? That's... thrown out? That fucker Matthias was a great brother only by technicality. He fucked up badly. He was still family by name, but underneath it everyone hoped he'd disappear quietly in his own. He was that family member nobody wanted around. Same treatment for me being his brat. Not surprising, it's the same treatment for the bowl cut too. Same taste? Oh, young Ryoshi, could it be also does harbor a passionate zeal for fit? I quickly clapped a hand over Don Quixote's mouth as she smoothly chimed in the conversation. Yeah, I realized it was the same treatment. Thank you. True. So what exactly is your point? Point is you're taking too long. If you can't decide whether you want to live or die, I can shorten the hesitation. Come quickly or I'll slice your neck clean right this instant. What does that mean? Cooperate quietly. Oh, quietly or I'll snap your neck completely right this instant. Sink isn't such a bad way to go if you're keen on taking that loyalty act straight to the grave. This is so crappy. Whatever, I get it, okay? I'll talk if that's what you want so bad. that actually worked. A smile. Fix the guard and a blaze of glory aren't actually the strong ones. It's the ones who survive, the ones who live to see another day and keep getting stronger. Anyway, Yoshihide, what's up with you talking weird-ass abbreviations? Like, sync? That's so random. Who even says that? Roche didn't bother to reply and simply chewed on the mouth end of a cigarette. But is this really the right call? To her, probably people she needs to settle the score with. Gebera reference? Which one's the Gebera reference? Oh, the fixers who survive. Ah. It makes sense. She probably would, like, quote Gebera. That is a fair thing for her to do. So far, this is definitely far better written than part 1 and 2 of Canto 9. Half her tattoos are gone clock. They even confiscated her book. You think the middle sorry excuse for loyalty means so much for this stray that she'd bite us? Besides, no, better hear it from her instead. Hey, tell me why my tears kicked the bucket. That's because, well, because Pepper was weaker than you. YouTube summoning 1 million unnamed Camus views to give random people with free subs to funnel viewers away from Coop's stream? What on earth is going on there? Huh? W. Coop's cup of water. But is it so strange for a guy to have a cup of water? Like, I just have one. Like, I have another. Actually, I have another cup of water. It's not got anything in it, so like drinking will do nothing. Yes. 2 cups of water. And watch this. For my third magic trick, I have a bottle of water. The reason why I have that many things of water is because I was really ill recently. So I needed a place to put all the water, so yeah. 500 cups of water, so true. Right, let's go. Bottle upscale. Why is Unk hydrated? Okay. Okay. Well, because Pup was weaker than you. Huh. Yeah, you're the jerk's brat, alright. Kira pushed herself up from the bed with a sour face, but at least she didn't argue back. And we called Honheim, who had been waiting outside, back in. Pro is water max. Oh god. I assume the prisoner was successfully persuaded. Come, you'll find your weapon on the table. You may use it in the event of emergency. What the hell? I can't even unsheath it. Ah, you won't be able to use it without authorization. The code has been slightly adjusted. Now then, let's head to the House of Spiders at once. The back door is up and waiting for us. We made our way to the House of Spiders with Kira trailing behind us, looking like she was smelling something particularly fishy on us. We need a Kira speech bubble under the chat. Yeah, Unk is hydrated. What a sentence. Okay, this is a Ring Gaming thing. I actually don't have, I need to mention, I don't have any of the other Ring IDs. Like, where do they go? Honglu? I don't have them. I don't play the game all too often. Why is my mouse caught under there? Limbus Company, but every time I min-roll I drink water? Amazing. Pull. Are they even still in... They're not even there! Also, no, somebody has a support ID for me to use, so... How cruel. Have you no rings? I have the classic ring IDs. I have the good doctrine, not the Butcherslop. Anyway. Anyway. Then it's you, and then you. That's a decent team. And just so I can actually get my slots back when people start to die. There we are. For code radius, yeah. Boomy's base idea run did manage to get through this. Oh, that's cool. Good for them. Send in the level 11 Honglu. No, I don't think I would do that, actually. Only a few days had passed since I last visited. The place looked markedly different from what we remembered. They removed the well, they hid the Butcherslop, I should say. The side of the hollow, frigid atmosphere and the endless stretch of corridors hadn't changed. But Callisto's so-called artworks were now covered in white sheets, and unfamiliar devices were fixed all around the back doors. Prithee, who might those people thither be? Looks like some shady bastard moves in already. I got a reaction prompted Honheim to step forward and gesture one of the oddly dressed figures. It seems introductions are in order for both sides. This is team leader Alan from Wayfarer Company, who will be working with us on the investigation of the house's back doors. Wayfarer Company? A corporation entity partnered with Limbus Company, responsible for providing portal technology. It has, on prior occasion, been referred to as the New or Aspirant W Corp, though the name is an unofficial one. Seen the new BotGAC ID announcement, by the way? We are so getting thumb double banner after Middle Lotus. I saw the raid boss thing. Like, okay. I don't like Limbus Company. However, I do really like MMOs, as you can probably tell. Really, am I not going to get recommended any MMOs? Okay, like, let me at least go to my subscriptions. They'll... Come on. Like, Settled. I don't think I'm subscribed to anybody else. But I am subscribed to Settled. And Settled has quite a few OSRS. I watch a lot of OSRS. Not that much. Like, I watched Tileman as it came out. God, 4 years. So, the raid boss. I am so excited. I am so excited for the raid boss. Genuinely might be something I actually try for. I love raid bosses. They're so cool. To me, I only looked over it briefly, but I could quickly pull up PM updates. If I quickly pull up the screenshot of it, or it's like here. No, not that one. It would be here, this one. Thank you, Project Moon. Let me wait for it to load. I'm fairly certain it's... Is it here? Oh, it would be Steam. Hold on. From memory, I saw you get different challenges. Oh, no, you don't. I misread that. I thought that gave you challenges there, which would have been really cool. Apparently, I just misread. Because what I was thinking it was... Because to me, this screen reminded me of... Oh, God, what's it called? It's like old school RuneScape. Yeah, Fortress Coliseum. The Fortress... It reminded me, because... So the Fortress Coliseum is a really cool place. Because you fight wave after wave of enemies, but in between the waves, you have to choose between different modifiers. You have to choose to add modifiers to make... You know, like, MD50? Those sorts of modifiers? Or, Adversity 50. You have to pick modifiers that gradually make it harder and increase the adversity. It actually does increase the adversity. I believe it specifically calls it adversity. And so for me, I thought they were doing that, but apparently I just misread. Because that would be so cool. That would be really cool, that as you go through, like having something like this, unironically might make me play the game. It's Adversity 60 now. I have not done an MD for a very long time. I want you to know. Okay, it's like MMOs, do you know about Monsters and Memories? I do not, no. I do not. What is Monsters and Memories? Honestly, Old School RuneScape is the major one I like, but I've been looking into Final Fantasy XIV obviously. And I've been looking into... Not looking into, I've been playing a lot of Wingcraft. Like really enjoy Wingcraft. Very well put. It's not really an MMO, but I've really been enjoying Wingcraft. I watched you do Lucky Pouch Fell Bullet strats. I don't think I actually got Lucky Pouch. No, I did. I would have gotten Lucky Pouch there. That's like one I have done, and I failed at floor 13 because, yeah. Failed at floor 13 because I didn't do it properly. Anyway, I love MMOs, so seeing a raid boss there made me so happy. There's so much they can do with that. Project Moon, give me the Project Moon MMORPG, and my life is yours, Project Moon, please. Please. I beg. Something other than Limbus Company. Oh, I honestly, it might be a good thing that there isn't a Project Moon MMORPG, because I just wouldn't be able to do anything. I would lose all of my free time. I would immediately become, I would want to do a Tileman challenge. I think a Tileman challenge for that would be amazing. Monkey's paw curls and the MMO is archived. Yeah, right, okay. Please no, you can't do this. You can't do this to me. Okay, the code name for the April Fool's 2027 mod is called Love Corp 2. Muscle Memory is an MMO project based on EverQuest. Trying to revive it and make it better. All the devs don't have any backers, and they're constantly working on it, streaming all the making. Oh, that's really cool. I hope it works out well for them. Who's trying everything is power not to play Limbus? You're right. Let's go back to raiding. I can stop talking excitedly about raid bosses. I'm pleased for taking a call near the new L Corp. Something we have in common, given they're both chasing after the same horizon. Ah, I remember that company vying to take W's Corp's place, right? Same horizon. He's probably talking about getting recognised as a wing. After all, the old L Corp has already fallen. Well, W Corp, from what I've heard, is free falling at this point. Ollie Coops, how's it going today? Pretty good. I've been rambling. It's nice to be back, honestly. I have to say, I've missed streaming. I really have missed streaming. It's so good to be back. It's so good to be back. Anyway, he's managed in Sinner's the LCB department, a field operations unit, frequently deployed to deal with on-site matters firsthand. They have more personnel, but the rest are tied up with the duties elsewhere. Only a handful will be joining this investigation effort. I understand. Field operation units are almost always understaffed anyway. The support you've been provided is more than sufficient. Alan gave an understanding nod. The man lifted his bulky helmet before extending his hand in greeting. Pleased to make your acquaintance. The name's Alan, leader of Door Breach Team 4. Likewise. Before Faust could even relay a reciprocal greeting, words spilled out of Alan's mouth in a strangely uneven rhythm. As my ticking didn't bother him at all, like he was sticking to a script he'd rehearsed. I've heard great things about you, Manager Dante of Limbus Company, and the Buster team performance. You capitalise on the suppression of distortion to T-Corp as leverage to push your products, and the profit's nothing sort of staggering, I heard. Oh, I heard. Oh yeah, we're supposed to be distortion resolving specialists to the public, but what's that product part about? The manager says it was merely a matter of luck. They also look forward to working with you on the task. Oh, you're the interpreter. In that case, I'll be sure to consult the manager and then when both of you are available. Sure. Faust didn't seem particularly pleased with the role Ellen pinned on her, but she nodded anyway. We're getting an ID of him at some point randomly, so true. We will never be getting a Lucio ID, ever. No Lucio ID. She quietly came to my side and answered my earlier question while Ellen carried on with Honenheim. He's referring to the Monolith sales project. Thank you so much for the donation, Jinx. Genuinely, let me quickly update the total. It means a lot.
$49.99 to the Lunacy Fund. Well, here's a welcome back, Dono. Hopefully you enjoy the intervallo.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It has been quite good. Okay, let me quickly... We gotta get out the conversion tool so I know how much to put in the roll and cosplay fund. Here we are. Hold on. That would be... so it's 109. 109, yeah. There we are. I can do maths. Sorry, need to do maths on the fly. There we are. Thank you so much for the donation, Jinx. Really, really genuinely does mean a lot. Jinx is funding the entire Coops MMO. Don't tell Kiwi. The credit was attributed to the LCB at the express request of Mr. Hubert, T-Corp's executive director. Oh, so that's how the rumor spread, huh? Review the agreements. Now I understand you'll be assisting in verifying what lies beyond the back doors. I'd appreciate if you could share any prior knowledge you have about where these back doors connect, as details you can make them, if you don't mind. Hondenheim fixed Kira with a pointed look. Though Kira responded by defiantly cocking her head in a show of irritation, she still gave up a sliver of the information she had. Honestly, I've got pretty much nothing if it's about the Robo-Unk. Chat, she's you. Chat, she's you. Robo-Unk and his... I mean, I've seen Albina head up that door and the other one over there when she was popping out to farm stuff, but... Farms! I'm losing it. I'm losing it. Oh, it's a gathering material. Speak of the MMO. I see, what kind of material? Human guts and all that. Should come back piling holes on. She doesn't just say Robo-Unk. Oh no. So probably connected to some backstreets area. The backstreets. Any more details? You're just prying your low-key. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. Well, that's literally all I've got for real. Okay, that's less brain-rotted. For a moment, Ellen leveled Kira off with a stiff expression. Oh! We're just hitting the child. Okay. Kira's head checked aside from a sun punch bound. I thought Kira was nimble enough to dodge a surprise attack easily, but this one seemed to have caught her completely off guard. She stood there blinking, eyes round in rude surprise. Kira announced as a voice and saying this wouldn't have happened if you listened to my backseating. That's hilarious. Actually, it wasn't he caught her off guard. It was the motion of the punch itself that somehow felt off, the fist being raised, the arm being extended, the blow making contact. The chain of actions was there, but it just didn't look normal. Did you just hit me? What the hell's wrong with? As Kira realized from the unexpected strike, Don Quixote spoke in a cold, sharp tone. Thou, what's matter of discourtesy is this? Ah, with all that whining, I thought the brat could use a lesson to remind of her place. I had no intention of damaging your company asset, of course. I simply assumed the level of warning would not be inappropriate in this case. Yeah. Team Leader Alan. That sort of conduct may not be an issue in your organization, but it is here. Should it happen again, do understand that we may choose to terminate today's joint engagement without delay. My apologies. I'll keep that in mind going forward. Alan stood down with arguing back, but Kira looked far from satisfied with how Hondenheim handled the situation. He gets to suck me in the face and walk it off scot-free? So frickin' annoying. Fortunately enough, her grumbling didn't escalate into her lashing out at Alan. That punch just now, though, what was that? It exhibited a behaviour that defied standard laws of physics, presumably a form of technology utilised by Wayfarer Company. Let us resume the task at hand. Scenario issue. Give Manager Alan what information you have. That door should lead to one of the ring-protected turfs. The other two on the left. I remember they were marked with an X painted with blood. But I have no idea where they actually lead. It's all blurry. Wiltshire shared an image. Oh, that's her lines. Okay, I won't read them. Not until later. Seems all the information we can provide. Will that suffice? We now know the doors likely can connect to a perceivable area. That's already a big improvement in terms of intel for Wayfarer Company's backdoor mapping progress. Which means there's less chance of us encountering a space beyond human perception past these doors. Alright then, I'll proceed with some connection verification. Which door shall we test first? We'll start with the ones in a row she mentioned. Ha, you don't trust me at all, huh? Then why even bring me along? Ignoring Kira's jab, Alan began setting up various devices on the door, and soon, an elegant white door appeared before us. Shall we? Art thou joining us early on Hondenheim? Just this once. There are procedures for handing over field operations. Okay, let's see what's in there. What the... Is this some kind of wildlife exhibit? Butcherslop! At the moment we stepped in, the lights hit us all at once, drawing squints and frowns from the sinners. Thanks to my lack of physical eyes, I could make out a room filled with statues, or perhaps taxidermied animals. It felt like a gallery of sorts, but it was so quiet the air itself seemed to carry a strange, somber weight. After some moment, someone shattered the silence, but it wasn't Don Quixote, our usual suspect. Holy shit, the scale here is just insane! That's the whale from 8 Association Great Lakes Special Issue! Kira, who seemed beaten down all along, exclaimed with a bit more energy in her voice. Man, T in real life sure hits different. And the Indigo Elder solo one-shots. That's not even how a one-shot works. That's not even how a one-shot works. fucking solo one-shot. You can't... How do you multiplayer one-shot? How do you multiplayer one-shot? That's not how a one-shot works. A one-shot is one shot. I don't get it. That's not how a one-shot works. You don't have to specify solo one-shots. Of course if he one-shots have 5 people buff a single person, I guess. Without supports buffing you? I guess. I'm just not used to multiplayer games having one-shotting, I suppose. I guess. It's just... okay. How would people buff in the city? How would people buff in a reasonable way that you can't just buff yourself? It's a great lake whale. Doesn't look like the one we've encountered, though. Organisms of various sources have been identified here. Singularity modified, outskirts spawn. They almost look alive. They're not, right? No, they're not. The Robo-Unk did say the ring has... Robo-Unk did say the ring has these zoos where they put monsters on display alive. Man, this would have been way more fun if we could see the moving ones. Everything here is dead. Meh. Still looks crazy sick, though. The vibe really hits. Even though she was trying to play it cool, Kira kept sneaking glances at the massive horn display off to one side, clearly surprised in a way she couldn't hide. You know, my little sister talks exactly like this, and it terrified me reading the intervallo. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Right. That said, I felt a distinct shortage of hyperactivity given the presence of a certain someone in our party. The dead stare. The eye of a second kindred of House Tepus. What is it doing here? At the mention of the word kindred, I couldn't help but follow Don Quixote's gaze. Opposite the whale was another kind of exhibit. It contained items leading on the more gruesome side of things, starting with the crimson eyeball that caught Don Quixote's attention, and the body parts like hands and bones that looked though they'd once been stripped from the human body. This feels more like hunting trophy displays than an art exhibit. Yeah, this isn't art. These are patchwork. This is... Okay, this is shoddy taxidermy. This is shoddy taxidermy. That's what this is. It's a gallery. If the School of Fauvism, sorry. Probably a main studio at that, which comes with a maestro's atelier and an auction house. Alan, we'll be making exit shortly. Prepare to initiate lockdown sequence. That's not... Okay, hold on. From memory, Fauvism is actually a style. This is Fauvism. Fauvism is quite cool. It's also kind of similar to pointillism. This is a vague style. Like you do see artists who generally go for, like, if we look at Picasso's works. Picasso. Is Picasso the? No, sorry. Picasso's the cubist. No, who am I thinking of? Van Gogh. Van Gogh. Is that how you spell it? Van Gogh? Sorry, Van Gogh. You see, Van Gogh has very similar aspects to Fauvism, but he does move into pointillism more with his sunflowers works. Because Fauvism itself is more pastel colors. This is what Fauvism is. Fauvism is using striking colors to make impacts. Once again, Van Gogh. Van Gogh is kind of a Fauvist, but more of a impressionist. And then, sorry, Picasso's a cubist. We'll get onto the cubists later. I don't think the cubists are mentioned in this canto. They might be. They're another doctrine of the ring. But yeah, this is Fauvism. This is shitty taxidermy. There's an important distinction. You know, PM didn't really get pointillism right. People don't... Usually people don't just hit you with very hard with a paintbrush and call it pointillism. I need to bring this up. Pointillism is about using dots, obviously, to display stuff. But hold on, let's bring over here. Ring Otis. I need to bring over Ring Otis's thing. So normally the important thing about pointillism is you'll use a lot of different colors so you can actually display stuff. Her entire palette is red. How is she making good pointillist art? Like, let's bring up... I love this, by the way. This sort of stuff, amazing. I mean, this is like, it's... something picnic, I believe, or Sunday. I can't quite remember the name of the thing. These pointillist works, actual pointillist works, are quite cool. These are all great. Her entire palette is red! That's just blood! That's just blood! It's Butcherslop. It's all Butcherslop. This is my main problem with the ring. This is my main problem with the ring. The ring is just a Butcherslop. They're all just a Butcherslop. I don't like these guys. I don't like these guys. Like, they don't make actual art. Like, even this, it's just more Butcherslop. It's all Butcherslop. Like, they're all corporalists, yeah. The corporalists are the only ones actually true to themselves. Everyone else pretends to be an artist. Like, making monochromatic pointillist art except red and white instead of black and white. Yes, but then why have a palette? Like, I guess it's different oxidization states of blood to get different shades of red. But it's gonna dry. It's blood. Still, they do force them closer to it with the enemy mechanics? Okay, I suppose. Otis is just a bum. Otis is a bad artist. I do have to bring up, though. Ring... Yisang. Ring Yisang is quite cool. Like he actually has... Like, look at this. It's not pointillism. Hey, look, he's got a bucket. These distinctly aren't pointillist. Actually, I would argue that this is more of a cubist work, but and there's him just drawing red faces on the League of Nine literatures. But like, he's at least an actual artist. Do we see any of his art here? Yeah, more Butcherslop, but like this at least is actual art. This is actual art. He is at least an artist. He is at least an artist. That's just him killing people? Oh, okay. Never mind. My mistake. It's not him making art. Okay. That's they're a very good example of how art can be mistaken. But like, please, actually make real art. Actually make real art. For the love of God. Anyway, Pred initiate lockdown sequence. Before Hohenheim could even finish his urgent transmission. Numerous footsteps closing from somewhere nearby. Like, okay, this is Fauvism, at least, the colours. No, not really. Is that Fauvism? Would I say that's Fauvism? No, that's just having pastel colours. And, like, the animal stuff. It's not Fauvism. That presence, it's kind of like Papa's. And no way, that's not a raid boss we can clear. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you, Kira. I'm gonna kill you. Wait. Hold on. You're telling me the reason we're getting a raid boss of Rufo, the reason we're getting a raid boss of Rufo is because Kira says it. She's foreshadowing. This entire thing has been foreshadowing. That's not Rufo? Okay, good. I was about to say, Rufo is not the maestro? Rufo is not the maestro. Oh, okay. Damn. Fluffy Towel shared an image. Can you read this Disco Elysium thing out loud? Sure. What is... Okay. The art cop. Right. Okay. Amazing. Why have I been pinged from... Oh, Astral Spiff has started streaming. Damn, there goes all my viewership. The designs are great, they're just not artists. We gotta get out of here. It's not that simple, retreating isn't a viable solution here. The door's connected to the House of Spiders, escaping without installing a security system will wipe your suit. We must store them in now and it's ready to initiate the lockdown sequence. As tension thickened, one of the strangers who wore a peculiar bone mask stepped forward. The voice that spoke to us carried equal part curiosity and delight. You came through that door. Like, it's a cool outfit. I will give them that. It's a cool outfit. But they're not a Forvist. The ring could do so many amazing things. Give me a KG. No, don't give me a surrealist. Then butcher it. But surrealism. Let me pull up surrealism. Think of the actual surrealist art you could do in the city. Like all this sort of like Magritte's works, how Salvador Dali's works. Like you could do stuff like the treachery of images, like this thing. This is. I need to explain this. This is so the caption of treachery of images is this is not a pipe. This is my favorite surrealist work, because it's not a pipe. It's a drawing of a pipe. It's not a pipe fundamentally, and I love that about surrealism because surrealism is all this sort of stuff. Because otherwise, I can bring up Magritte surrealism just to show other stuff from Magritte. Magritte has a lot of interesting art. You'll probably be familiar with him if you know surrealism, but it's quite cool. You could do so much interesting work. Stuff with, like, Locke. We were discussing this in the Discord the other day. With, like, Locke, you could freeze areas of light within the city, and you could make an exhibit where you can actually walk through locked portions of the city. So you could get, like, an entire sensory experience of being in the city, and if you get, like... If you make it large enough rooms, or to a certain scale, you could actually put in different representative works from each section. Or, like, if it wasn't for the fact that the 8 great chefs are all madmen. Like, think about Heston Blumenthal. Heston Blumenthal's cooking. He can do mad things. He made a hot chocolate as both hot and cold. He made Alice in Wonderland level pink liquid that was an entire meal that changed as you drank it. He has done mad things with normal human science. Imagine what you could do with the city's tech, and this is what frustrates me about every creative group in the city is none of them are creative. None of them are creative. It's all Butcherslop. It's all Butcherslop. It's Butcherslop the whole way down. It's like they could do genuine, honest to God, really interesting stuff. And they're just like, I just want to kill people. I just want to kill. I just want to let him bleed out. I just want to hang him from the rafters. Let him bleed out. There's so much stuff they could do. Like, no, pinnacle of humanity, human jelly. Think outside the box. Think outside the box, please, for the love of God. Anyway. I want the 8 chefs to be expanded more on. The 8 chefs could have been so cool, but they all just ate each other. They all just ate each other. It's not good. Anyway, you came through that door. Then the house's fall wasn't just a baseless rumour. A stray little spiderling fallen from a parent's web. How many years has it been? You, who are you? Ah, right. It makes sense you prefer to recognize me. I used to wear a different mask back when I used to visit your tutor, didn't I? A wolf, if memory serves right. Yes, that must have been when I was quite captivated by the sensation of tearing into the raw, still thrashing flesh of living prey, and the predator's ferocious yet carnivorously resonant howling. Rings a bell. Yeah, that maestro whose whole lesson was a 3-hour sermon praising the intensity of primary colours and the strength of living creatures. Benoit, was it? That's right. Right, Emile Benoit. I feel like that's an actual artist. I'm going to quickly check that. Benoit is a familiar name. Oh, yeah, he's a visual designer. Yeah, I can't remember. Why would I know him? Of course he shows up there now. Interesting. Still lifes. I really like still lifes. I like, kitchen sink. My favorite still lifes are kitchen sink, still lifes. I love kitchen sink realism still life. This sort of stuff. Like, all this sort of stuff. I really like this. Kitchen sink realism still life is just like, hold on, this is a famous one. This is a Tate. I really like kitchen sink realism. I think it's a cool movement. Who pinged me? In gaming. Ah, never mind. I thought somebody was pinging me about my art rants. That's Coop's opening on the Kanto 9 Part 4. Okay, can't hatch a phoenix from a chicken's egg. Doesn't always apply, I see. Looks like mind you're still as sly as a raven, unlike your nurse fathers. Don't presume. And remember you because the tactilia hides and guts, made for a passable... artistic... Made for a passable... artwork? Why is she artwork's one word? That's not... okay. First kind of look like Roche was casually taking a trip down memory lane with the maestro. She's clearly, like, stalling for time. So this is on purpose to time. The lockdown sequence thing, how much longer till it's ready? You can Hohenheim, the lockdown sequence. Don Quixote had been shooting the ring members an intense glare, sparked with the discovery of the Kindred's eye, swiftly realized my word to Hohenheim without even a hint of earlier shenanigans. Yes, that's the point, she's shortening for no reason, yeah. Wait. Oh, is she doing that to stall? Artwork. Because AW is longer than artwork. For the progress and speed of the lockdown sequence lies in Alan's hands, not mine. It is, by its nature, a time-consuming work. We cannot expect haste. Perhaps that does make this a suitable juncture to our Plan A. Plan A? Don Quixote takes off her shoes. Any suggestion that involved Don Quixote removing her shoes would not be dignified with a serious discussion. Instead, maybe what Hohenheim had in mind had nothing to do with Don Quixote's shoes, because he opened his mouth as he was about to retort Faust's categorical rejection. The moment he followed Faust's eye and saw what she was looking at, he quietly shut his mouth and said nothing further. Faith in potentiality is not something I dislike. As for this, however, this seems more like grasping at straws. Into the gaze of Roche's blade. Arashiki. Huh, I was going to try using it anyway. I've long waited to see if a maestro's death is any different. Temo just leaving won't work, will it? No, it won't. Every individual present here would be quite the fascinating specimen to the artists of the ring. We're practically a windfall of inspiration material that's so conveniently been delivered to them. It isn't probably allow us to return unharmed. Roche's 50-50 between trolling with the shortening and saying something actually interesting for a reason. Yeah. Faust is right. She and Hohenheim are geniuses, and Roche is the wielder of Arashiki. Don Quixote is a kindred of a higher generation, and I happen to house a golden bow on my head. I have no idea how much information the ring has on us, but even if they knew nothing, they wouldn't let us go easily. Sure about this, Roche? Doesn't matter if I'm sure about this or not, Clock. Think that woman is lay hang and do what you did in Heathcliff's mansion. I'll take the rest. Oh, that's probably the best shot. Well, what Ryoshi meant was quite clear. Resonate with the golden bow, secure an advantage to fight on equal footing, then catch them off guard by slowing down the flow of time. A cut from the Arashiki, even if it doesn't give us a real fighting chance, might at least stall the Mitra long enough to give us the time to get away. This floor of the exhibit only houses submissions from students and docents, but if you look closely enough, there are some possible ones that show the promise of excellence. And above all, this is the gallery of the School of Fauvism. And mine, the gallery of Emile Benoit. which is why I would have preferred to take you without an unnecessary fight, if possible. A shame. Still, we're talking about a unique relic here, a masterless one at that. Acquiring the Arashiki makes it worth the cost. If you want a taste. Confusion flickered across Ryoshi's face as she tried to unsheath her blade. What's the matter? How? The lock of the house side is used to bind Arashiki no longer exists, so why can't I draw the blade? Now that's unexpected. It's the rumors you mastering that relic. Were they false? The maestro only gave a loose swing of her arm, but it was enough to make Ryoshi recoil. A shadow of surprise crossed her face. The wound looked nothing more than a light gash, yet the maestro's contemplative gaze shifted between the blood on Ryoshi's arm and her own, as though the attack has been an experiment to prove a hypothesis. It wasn't hard to guess what she was thinking. Shh, noticed, did you? I had my doubts from the moment I saw you today. Was the house described as a success, or a failure? Tell me, Yoshihide. What do you think a serpent's defining strength is? What do you want about now? Ask any student and I'll give you the same predictable answers. The deadly venom, the sleek scales, why it's lamentably disappointing. The maestro advanced toward us with an assured certainty, then seized a beige thread dangling from the ceiling. No, calling a mere thread would be wrong. Something that resembled a thread, yet felt much more disturbing. I, for one, have a particular liking for the jaws and the spine. The flexibility of the spine, linked like a chain, and the jaw, bound not by bone, by ligaments that allowed the animal to swallow its prey whole. Perhaps I should have said that I admired the structural refinement. The thrice-coiled ring and a ring finger gave a cold glint, and the walls and the ceiling suddenly began to echo with the sickening squelch and crack of flesh and bones assembling. What the hell is that? Which brings me to ask, what better way to claim this delivery of promising material with a single bite than the work of art fashioned from a snake? The maestro plunged around the long serpentine body of a monster. Her sheer presence radiated a pressure as oppressive as that of the Nurse Fathers, only more primal and untempered. Consider it a privilege. This is the first time this piece is ever exhibited to an outsider. Hohenheim's lockdown sequence still not ready? 1 minute ago, step aside. The attack from Eager Gear Hohenheim hastily branched didn't even last a moment, the weapon was knocked from his hand. As I scrambled to equip the Sims without identity, something abruptly stopped the beast-like appendage midway through its hurtling motion, and the one intercepted the blow. Ah, shit. It was Kira, struggling to push back into the serpentine arm with the steel-sealed blades. Kira! Did she suddenly have a change of heart I wasn't aware of? Shit, this wasn't the plan at all. Obviously not. She couldn't have changed her mind that quickly. The look on her face couldn't be that of anything other than that of utter regret. The middle, For someone who doesn't seem to be a proper member, you think quite the quantity of tattoos onto yourself. Ah, you must be the new kit Matthias took in. Why do you stand in my way? Fucked if I know. I'm already regretting it, alright? Damn it, they're definitely gonna ditch me here. Why'd even? Must be instinct taking over. Couldn't fully shake off the opponent's killing intent, so the body chose to clash head-on. It's a behavioural facet of the psyche and we trial with suitable training. Unexpected data, but useful to be sure. Ah, shut it, mister. Quit yapping and let me use my blades. Authorized and ready. Lifting locks now. Kira's thermal weapons emerged from their sheath with a metallic clang. She used the recoil of the motion to skid back and assume a defensive stance. Naturally, that broke Benoit's arm from the deadlock as well. The maestro lashed out again with the monstrous limb, but... Huh? It's a foul injustice striking against an unprepared opponent in a duel. Behold, for I shall allow thee a glimpse from the badass form that only was around and fixed to played through the ages. Seeing an opening, Don Quixote slammed an arm with a full might, knocking her off its trajectory. Predictably, however, the sheer force of the maestro's attack instantly reduced her to a red sludge of flesh and bone, sending her remains crashing into the door. Ready to initiate lockdown sequence. I'll seal the door immediately upon your exit. Everyone to the door. Faust, retrieve the organic remnants of Sinner 3. As Faust made her exit with what was once Don Quixote, the students of the ring surrounded Kira, barring a way out. A hollow chuckle slipped out of her lips. Ha! Called it for real. This is exactly why I didn't want to get involved. Taking Kira back with us meant having a sizable force of the ring trail right behind her through the door. Kira too seemed to have realised the risk I'm in the right mind wanted to take. She lowered her head in defeat, as though she knew full well the fate that awaited her. Such a darse. What are they thinking diving in like that? You, don't stand there. Get over here now. Huh? But he's going to come flooding in if I... You... talk too much. Want to get cleaved in half again? You pin this on me later, you're going to pay. Blocking the maestro's arm by a hair as it came down on her again, Kira hurled herself towards the door with every bit of strength she could muster. More than few students rushed through the doorway, chasing after the sinners gone in ahead, but... Lockdown sequence complete. All backdoor links have been cut. Fortunately, Alan managed to sever the connection between the two back doors before the maestro could cross over. Pfft, bowl cut. Think you still use your arms? I'm fine. That's not a bowl cut! In what world is that a bowl cut? It goes far below her, like... Okay, so she says. Kira would be a strong addition to fight for us, but the ring members that managed to cross have formed a rather sizable force. Fighting them off with just as soon as I have at my side would not be the best course of action. In that case, guys, I assume you're all available right now? As soon as I call out sinners, their voices come through Hohenheim's radio one after another. I guess so? Ready for your order, Executive Manager. I just am prepared to answer your call whenever and where... hang on, I just need to finish this bite. Everyone to me. Right. Answer me, Heishopax. Okay. Struggling. Oh, they're just using their skill 3 against me immediately. Okay. I mean, I could go for a Lustrous, first go, power counter. Power counter is what you want to use on that, from memory. And then do you use power counter on that? You know you don't. It's just unlocked by... honestly, I have not been using Ishmael long enough to remember how you do this. Dark Cloud, and then you have... dealt damage this turn. Killed another ally. Okay, cool. Right. I don't know why I'm trying. This is an unfocused encounter. I could click win right. Are you sure you don't want to hit any heads there, buddy? Oh, I just realized that we need to check the statuses. How do I use her? That seems important to know. Oh, win the clash. That's a lot of coins. It actually works out pretty well. She's a bleed ID too, from memory. Bleed burn, if memory serves. Great. And now we can just do damage from here. I should probably read up on what she does. It's fine. That didn't, you know that status I said I'd read up on? Yeah, no, didn't do that again. I don't understand why I'm... Anyway, well, this is the perfect time to talk. I'm actually really liking this so far. This is better than both part 1 and part 2 of Kanto 9 were. Which... yeah, no, that's quite something. Could do that for you, and then that for you. I'm happy with that. Quick explanation of... Rhodium, she gets power up counter that clashes wealth with the coins. Target has 3 negative stats, she gets power up S3 if they have 6. Alright, interesting. Cool. There is a slight problem in the fact that I'm never going to get any new IDs now because I just don't play. Oh, just keep opening up my auto clicker. There we are, lovely. Massive bleed stack on the guy who's about to die next turn. Chat, we're an envy res team now. That makes sense. We've got Kira here. We're an envy res team, right? That's how that works. Are people excited for the Ricardo ID? Ricardo Heathcliff, from the looks of things. Looks quite cool. All of those coins just to do 129 damage. There's Ring Sang going off again. Lovely, lovely. Okay, hold on. Let me, whilst I remember, what is this? Oh, an imperfect glimpse of the power that shall reign over the kingdom. Okay, cool, thank you. Do they have any lore? There are beasts that fall in and out of vogue with school forvism, yes, but a true artist must take fierce pride in the single animals, the underdrawing, which best represent their unique self. Despite its wisdom, however, there are some who flit from beast to beast, as though the self is nothing more than a costume to be worn and discarded. Mold color blur. If the middle uses their tattoos self-augmentation, does that mean that rings tattoos are brands that, when forcibly applied, weaken their enemies? Interesting. Okay. Faltering inspiration. And then her skills are presumably just the same as theirs. What's her ult here? Shimmy, it's fine. How's everyone in chat's day going? I'm curious. You all having a good time? How did you manage to... thank God you've got unbreakable coins. Yeah, no, how's everyone doing? Has the stream broken? Chat hasn't moved. Oh! No wonder nobody in chat has been speaking. Right. Oh, my tab crashed. Okay. Okay, here we are. Okay, hold on. Let me read up. Despite the unapologetic male name, Benoit is so far the only female maestro. Yeah, true. Is that the red sludge? Or she has more of a bold cut than Kira? Yeah. Hello, Noel. Always want to spam power counter for KK Heathcliff, so long as you have 3 Lust Res. Okay, cool. Should run his 3 Res X before it makes sure to hit everyone, otherwise it only goes to some KK allies. Okay. Read. Kira tagging status has changed. Oh, okay, interesting. Part 2 of Canto 9 is good in your opinion? That's... I would disagree, but to each their own. What's this? Yeah, people are excited for Ricardo Heathcliff. Yeah, very cool. You've not been this hyped for an ID since Les Salt. Oh, wow. Yeah, you should support a Ring Honglu. I'm already supporting a Ring Rodeo, I'm afraid. Cooking past colon 3. The flavor text kind of bad, especially as an important lore dump on Matthias just being there. Yeah, that's true. the best way to stop backseating is your whole page crashing? Yeah, no kidding. Just stumbled upon your channel and the stream through your library and a multiplayer mod video. Gotta thank you for bringing me this masterpiece. No worries, I'm happy to be able to bring content to people. I know, it's good to see that everyone's having a good day. Yeah, check out Kira's move, she got a slight buff. Yeah, I could check that out. Okay. Is it Butcherslop? The ring, so far, yes. The ring so far is Butcherslop. You've missed the massive rant I had about art. Yeah, no, I was so confused because chat wasn't updating. And that confused me because there's 40 people in chat. So I was just like, why on earth is nobody saying anything? And then I realized it was because my chat was frozen. So first of all, the evidence already been on expected levels. I swear I thought that was it for me back there. It's this nature won't be frequent, merely beset by ill luck. If you just listen to me and pick another door, we wouldn't have gotten cooked like that. Like, why even drag me into this? They're not going to trust me, weirdos. We'd open them all at the end of the day. Sit down. ST, what's that? Same difference. Oh. Again, why shouldn't it like that? Just say duh or something. Just spell it out and say it was anticipated. That's... whatever. No, what? Waste of time? All 40 of us just went quiet? Yeah, immediately. Everybody decided at once to stop talking. Whoever does have a team dedicated to this sort of task, but the mortality rate is quite high. Honestly, I was bracing myself for the worst. The odds of completing the first order of expedition without a casualty is under 15%. This, by all measures, counts as a flawless expedition. Tapping away at his device, Alan addressed her with an equal smile. He seemed totally different to the same man who had manhandled Kira with a fist to her face. Those four of us won't be able to cross over anymore with the door completely locked down, right? Butchering my slop tirade to the fourth. Sealer, I think you need to go to sleep. Actually, I think you might be a bit tired. That can be asserted with certainty. A same more might come. The corridors and back doors have always been the ring's turf clock. And those Forvis beasts have endured as a long-standing faction with the ring. How? They're not real artists. They're not artists. They're not Forvis. Why are they calling themselves Forvists? They're not Forvis. If they got that much history, they must know many back doors, both the origin and destination points. Alan clarified what Irish was hinting at. Yes, compared to them, we lack sufficient knowledge of alternate routes, which makes it difficult to prevent an infiltration. No need to concern yourself over much. Coops, they are laughing. That's true. That they are laughing. To make me mad. That is the ring's sole purpose, to make me mad. Hey, can I get a Forvis art piece with Rufa? I mean, hey, sorry, I mean, how do you LARP your own faction? Well, no, they're LARPing real artists. They're not. It's like no, none of them actually make the day we see Cubist art, I'm gonna lose it. It's not gonna be Cubist. There's not a singular chance the Cubists actually make Cubist art. They're just gonna like stick fingers onto canvases and call it a day. They're gonna like cut people up into tiny little cubes and go, ah, look, it's Cubism. It's Cubism, guys. No, that's not Cubism. Cubist art is just gonna be meat cubed. Yeah, they're gonna make circles. They're just playing Minecraft, yeah. I just feel the ring is kind of weird. The thumb is like criminal military. The thumb is, I would say, very much mafioso sort of stuff. Index is criminal church. That's true. There's a joke to be made there. The middle is closer to more Eastern, like Eastern crime syndicates, or like the stereotypical way the Yakuza and the Yakuza, and then what's the Chinese crime families called? The criminal church, so church in the Middle Ages. Yeah, so true. I love indulgences. Yippee. Yeah, well, hold on, it's I'm not sure. Triads, yes, the triads. And then the ring are mad artists who don't really make art. Why are they named after artists not born yet? For a laugh. You know, for a laugh. Why not? Yeah, and then you've got the Pinky, who is... The only section of the Pinky we've seen so far is a reference to one story I can't remember. Yeah, anyway. Even that the case is unlikely I've moved to House of Spiders so soon. Pinky is the 108 heroes. That we know of. We know the water margins so far is what we know of. But just going over the fact that every... whatchamacallit? Every syndicate has different aspects depending on where in the city they are. I would say it would be strange to assume the entirety of it is water margin. Obviously, I could be wrong. It could entirely be the water margin. But just... I would say regional differences are important to take into consideration. Guess the Library of World is like post-apocalyptic Earth. Or it's not the moon! Look at Canto 7. I just didn't think it'd be Chinese. I love that meme. That's great. It's... yeah, amazing. And it's also right at the end of a song I really like, so I've heard it on loop. Yeah, okay, let's back to the story, even though the case it's unlikely they'll move to the House of Spiders so soon. They could just rush for a surprise attack though. Even that Forvis Maestro seemed to lack clear intel on the event that took place at the House of Spiders. If so, it follows they'll need time to assess and deliberate about the situation. Did I skip past them by the situation? This guy takes the story as a canon source. The logical scope of their concerns will be identifying the organisation that has secured the House of Spiders, the possibility of additional traps beyond the back doors, and all the like. Once all backdoor-related procedures tied to the House of Spiders are complete, the resulting security framework should be able to preempt and block any infiltration efforts. This operation is more important than I thought. That aside, why couldn't I draw the blade? Is it the new scabbard's fault? Roshi lifted the sheath sword with an irritated frown. And that's when I felt a faint vibration. The blade was twitching ever so slightly. That quivering most faint. 'Twas seen by all, indeed. Damn, I saw it too. Is it possessed or something? Looks like I wasn't the only one who saw the sword twitching, so I wasn't pleased at all with how Roshi was talking about the scabbard. Yeah, that scabbard can listen to it. Listen to the talk. Roshi's gaze lingered on the sword before slowly shifting to the back doors. Could it be that seeing the scabbard brought back some memory of Araya? Roshi, is it a SS? A demon edge? An enchanted blade? Which is it? It's probably neither of those, nor is it a sentient sword. This presents a fine opportunity to conduct another examination of the sword. Excuse us for a moment, Team Leader Alan. Anyway, please feel free to go ahead. The attack just now damaged some devices, so we're gonna have to perform some maintenance before continuing. There's plenty of other work for me to do while you're away too. I would return to the headquarters research facility then? Alan looked like he was bullied in school, you're not wrong. No, that won't be necessary. There's a facility here that should prove more than adequate. So far, there's a whole lot of talking and not a lot of fighting, which is good. Obviously, Ringy's... Once again, the student is mad. Once again, the student proves to be mad. Do we have enough to... Nowhere near enough to get him. I forgot that Garnet canonically sees 9/11. What? What? Hold on, could somebody send me an image of where that appears in Leviathan? What? Okay, thank you. You preempted me here. Oh no, that's just Ringy saying. He doesn't? Okay. Well, I'm getting conflicting views here. Anyway. Planes don't exist in the city for a good reason, apparently. Wow, okay. The home brought us close to what looked like a research lab lined with cables, rows of screens, and diagrams full of complex symbols and shapes. I didn't know there's a place like this in the House of Spiders. Would just shared an image. Right. He just sees a plane. It's not... Okay. Thank you. Thank you both of you. I didn't know there was a place like this in the House of Spiders. This is a forward base constructed by Limbus Company following Operation Spiderpire. It did not exist prior to the House's fall. The plane falls on him? Oh. Oh, okay. I see. It is intended for additional backdoor investigation and research into irregular phenomena observed during the operation. Irregular phenomena? An example. Research subjects such as a spatial analysis of the correlation between the emergence of Sinner's 11th sign and the manifestation of a possible future. Oh, looking around, I spotted Sinclair and a group of researchers surrounding him, and the same people who dragged him off earlier. They're accompanied by a gaggle of sinners who'd tag along to either watch the show or kill some time while they took a breather after work. Hohenheim, how long will the examination last? You know, I have to feel bad for the sinners. The sinners have to do mirror dungeons constantly. Like, imagine having to constantly do mirror dungeons for your job. Imagine your job being to do mirror dungeons. It's just now occurred to me that this can be classified as Kamui slander. Let me take that back. I'm sure some people would enjoy doing mirror dungeons for their job, but I'm glad I'm not them. Yeah. I'm glad I'm not them, because I would rather not do mirror dungeons at all, actually, let alone doing it for my job. With Sinclair's biometric assessment concluded, the analyzer device should be available for the relic now. Which means they should be finished in an hour from now, at the latest. The scout routed against the mention of an hour. I don't know why or how, but the way it swayed almost felt like a child trembling. It's moving again. Come along, Ryoshi. I expect you'll want to witness the procedure. Fine. Roche and Honheim head off to the side. The examination is probably going to start immediately. Time to get Sinclair then. Wait. I was making my way towards Sinclair, who was getting bombarded with questions, when an unexpected figure behind a pillar caught my eye. It was Vesper Crabbo. Crabro. God. Vesper Crabbo. With a big piece of paper covered in crooked handwriting taped on his back. Snack thief? Ah, manager. Can of snacks. Mr. Stringbean ate up all of them. Sorry, but I think there's been some misunderstanding. Vogue, kick his ass. Not only is the matter not worth pointing fingers over, but Karen also shares some of the responsibility for leaving that on the table unattended. Still, I would prefer you exercise more care next time, or you'll put me in a tough spot. Understood. Karen, super sulky mode engaged, not talking for half a day. Deploying super past bitty candy. Beep beep, mode enabled. I'm sure this is a appropriate request, but may I remove the paper from my back now? It's a little inconvenient for me. Karen forgives this time. Next time, no mercy. Best make sure she doesn't listen to that radio channel again. Is it a kick me sign? Oh, snack thief. Okay. Amazing. Virgilis looked on an inscrutable expression as Karen peeled the snack thief sign off Vesper's back. They had eating SFX? We can't sadly play SFX again. Just remember this, so that I don't have to think I'm burning through what little candy chance I have left on such trivial nonsense. Thank you. Vesper gave a polite thanks because of picking up another plate and stuffing it into his mouth. Wait a minute, I was saving that for later! I assumed you were being picky. Well, now you know. Yet I still see you gobbling up my share. He took my snack too, kick his ass. Rodion Romovich. Oh, the music's muted. I'm aware that half the total snack budget allotted to each center is being funneled into your snacking expenses. And now you're raiding the LCE supplies as well. Chill, that's toast been agreed upon, okay? Besides, that's that and this is... And that's enough of that so I don't get copyrighted. Oh. Sigh. You just know Virgilia saw him when she said that? Yeah, flashbacks. Yeah, one note so I don't get immediately copyright struck by Millie. And the whole stream has to be muted. The lines on Virgilia's brow look deeper than usual today. Hoping to help Moses in the cycle of snack-related headaches and satisfy my own nagging curiosity, I drew near our guide and broke his brooding silence with my TikToks. Did we learn anything about Sinclair's sign? Dante is inquiring about the outcome of the research on the sign. 15 limbillion strikes. So true. And it's back to, like, breaking for a month or else Millie's lawyers will break my shins. Dante's inquiring about the outcome of the research on the sign. I've heard from the researchers, but nothing of particular significance came out of it. Baconfish shared an image. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Due to the limited accessibility to the phenomenon, the only verifiable information so far has been its existence. Okay, researching that which cannot be observed is bound to be difficult. Bast has a point. Aside from Sinclair, none of the sinners can actually see the sign. Ruin the entire Roland's character for me, Kim Jun. And the same would go for the researchers. Even Sonia had it and said only a few select people could perceive it. If there were more individuals bearing signs, there would be a wider pool for comparative analysis of statistical samples to narrow down the scope. You know Roland's a foodie, Rodia's Roland confirmed. This means that we will get a Black Silence Rodia ID win. However, records indicate that no suitable references exist. At present, the research effort is limited to reducing variables such as whether or not the irregular phenomenon are tied to the location where the battle took place. By individuals bearing signs, you mean like Demian and Samson? Wait, then could those guys do what Sinclair did? Pull in some superpowered future self and just wreck everything? Even Sonia? No, that's a different... she doesn't quite understand the sign. I should step in and put an end to the subject before Roger gets the blues. I don't think so, from what Ishmael and Faust reported back then. Right, Sinclair from the suit said each sign carries a different power. Yeah, his carries bullshit never roll tails. There's loads of light ring Demian used to finish off Chroma. That's not a special power, that's just Mang. That's just Mang. This story, this could be it. Those dots seem plausible. It's just Mang. You just use Mang. It's nothing special. Anyone can do that. Some information is what you can find me. Correct. Yeah, evidently everyone can do it. Did nobody pay attention to Canto 9? Discussion of subject not ventured beyond the realm of wild speculation. Nothing's been proven yet. Ergo, fear would be a unnecessary response at present. Mang isn't meant to be common, you know? Wait, it clearly is. This is, at best, grounded supposition, but it would seem the researchers are coaxing forth a hypothesis from the vestiges left in the wake of Sinclair's future self. Oh, that bit about the sign maybe being some singularity or whatever, right? The precise position of the hypothesis is the fundamental principle of the sign's working may be equivalent to those of singularities or relics. But, as no actionable evidence was obtained from Sinclair, there's present no means by which the hypothesis may be validated. I see. Then nothing came out of them dragging Sinclair off for that research. Oh, you also thought I was being dragged off, but still let it happen anyway? No, I mean... just kidding. Just thought I'd try going along with the mood. The old Sinclair wouldn't even thought to joke around like that. He's really changed lately, for the better, I think. Something happened that we should worry about? I stuck close to him, just in case. Nothing serious came up. Just took some blood, a small skin sample. Oh, they're also checking if the sign reacts to electrical stimulation. Did they just shock Sinclair? Yeah, and I had to fill out some questionnaires too. Things like, please describe what you remember from the battle exactly as it happened, or list the sensations you felt when you gained consciousness. And your memories of that moment have yet to return? No, I don't know if they'll come back actually. Faust said they only exist within my future self, so... Wait, but for my future self to ever have those memories, shouldn't I carry them in the first place? Which comes first? A paradox, it would seem. In such a case. Fluffy Towers shared an image. Ah, that's amazing. That is amazing. Why have I been pinged on the Discord? Why do I keep getting... Coots would ascend past the level of Ring Maestro on pure rage alone? You're not wrong. I can do better than these frauds. I miss the library, Mr. Streamer. Me too, Curb. Me too. This goes maybe one branch across many possible futures. Text. Lots of text. If the future unfolds into countless boundless branches by means of ceaseless bifurcation, then the body of information that constitutes a sudden future would scatter into grains more fleeting than dust, too diminished to ever reverse their course and trace back the path now to the self that now exists. Is that the theory suggested? Not a certainty, but a plausible interpretation. Here you go again, more of those nonsense only you lot understand. She forgot the gloves. Yeah. Oi, memory or not, that future guy still came out of him, didn't he? And some part of him's got to be left in there somewhere, yeah? Like muscle memory or whatever. Perhaps he can still pull off some of those tricks from back then. Tricks from back then? Heard you kicked off proper out there, even pulled out the trick you picked up from that plus old geezer, right? Not just that, he was using Mang technique quite effortlessly too. What, that glowing ring thing? Yep, the glowing ring thing. He had two of them coiled around his weapon. I used that glowing ring thing? This is the first time I've heard anything about it. Alright, so what exactly is that glowing ring thing? Anyone? Maybe some technique that enhances physical capability? Exposition! Yippee! I mean, I guess that flashy aura makes it real tough one part of it. Shin. There's gotta be more, right? Dunno, could be a secret finger thing they pass in the members. Technique gives something. Verg, please step in. Step in and actually explain to people that have not read Leviathan. You have to channel your intent into a singular strike, and that's how you generate Mang. Please, Verg, explain. You know how to do it. Look at them, that Black Coney leader, that Lehang prick, and the Nurse Fathers have bought. Whole lot of fingers, aren't they? The notion seems to unravel, for even all the LCD those who came to wield it. And Virgilius, too. So what, the only proper hard bastards can use it? Some posh top-end trick, is it? Well, that in particular prominent. The sinners slowly turned the gaze towards Virgilius and Vesper. I learned to wield it from my team leader, too. I have a sincere understanding of Shin, but I can claim nothing too profound. However, I can spare some rumours, though. That prophecy was Virgilius, please! Virgilius, you know how to do it. Virgilius actually explains... Rumours? Among elite fixers and association leadership, there's this power called Shin, capable of enhancing the body without having to pay its key costs. I remember fixers, sayest thou? Yet even the technique manifest it. How-to tips really spread through hearsay. Oh yeah, that tracks. The super rookie column in the latest mag bonus vid? Bro, it's really popping off. With it. Straight up aura farm. the immense, straight up aura farm with a shiny mang wrapped around the web. Straight up aura farm. Chat +1 or -1? +1 or -1 for Kira here. +1? Okay. Chat has spoken there. +1 for Kira. Oh. Have you seen the new Limbus ID teasers? I have. They look quite interesting. +1 or what? It's just a streamer time. Just as a do you agree or disagree with her aura farming comment. Must be the mine eyes are yet privy to seeing such a marvel in video. What, you serious? It's the latest issue, literally on the videotapes in the back. Maybe you missed it. Videotape? Alas, for many a week I've been stranded from Mephi, relieving me of a chance to read not only the prior chronicle, but the latest one as well. Woe is me. When I return, I shall feast through the night upon those noble exploits of venturing fixers. As Don Quixote dramatically spiraled into a state of utter dejection, Otis cut the conversation, her gaze narrowing with suspicion. From what I recall, the Mantle of Shin grants its user a high degree of physical enhancement. There is no such thing as reinforcement without supplies. No power of that magnitude comes without equivalent cost to wield it. That power relies on emotional will for manifestation. Its output is not consistent like prosthesis and augmentation, and depending on how you use it, the consequence it demands can reach levels comparable to the ego you use. You mean to say it exacts a toll upon the mind? I can walk you through fundamentals if you're like, yes, please Vespa, please, the base ID only challenge needs more buffs. Shut up, Otis! Please, please, Otis. My base sinners are kinda mangless. From a zone technique reserved for those considerable strength, at our current levels, not unreasonable to assume we can make any use of it. Regarding that, our team leader's been conducting intensive research. And according to our physical strength, has little bearing upon one's ability to learn and wield Shin. As the Yellow Harpoon says, it is, in essence, a power that can be learned by almost anyone, provided they know the proper method of training. Vespa's power visibly twitched the moment the Yellow Harpoon left Virgilius' lips. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's a big fan of his own title. The Yellow Harpoon. Well, it fits, I think. He's got the yellow stripes in his clothes and he's a harpoon too. Can you argue with that? Yiseng would be actually quite good at Shinamang? Yeah, he would. He would, genuinely. But exaggerate, even Sinner Yiseng's pre-contact self could manage to learn it. Why must the self of mine be chosen as a point of comparison? Well, because you're the wimpiest one here. Don't let it get to you. Even so, it would be a mistake to assume its power anyone can grasp with ease. As long as you're bound by contracts as sinners, your ability to wield it will be severely limited, unless you rely on particular identities or come across an extraordinary circumstance. Okay, so it's basically saying you wouldn't be able to do it other than IDs that can use Shin and Mang. Shame. Would have been useful. Hey, then what about me? Can I learn it too? Kira had been fidgeting with her fingers, raised an arm, and asked her if she couldn't hold the question back any longer. Come to think of it, the middle nurse father didn't use any Shin or Mang. Papa never taught me how to use it. He always said I could get strong without a stupid crutch like that. Ha! It wasn't that he didn't teach you, he couldn't. He was a man who probably never once reflected on his own sins. A piece of trash like him would be incapable of even comprehending such power in the first place. Best response always come dripping back with venomous hatred when the conversation turns to the topic of the fingers. Kira must have noticed too, or perhaps she simply couldn't find the right words to push back. Either way, she held her tongue, her expression settling into a blend of frustration, something looked a little too close to sadness. Fuck, you mean foreshadowing? You already have 3 identities with Shin? Yeah, we do. We really do. Meanwhile, Gregor. Right, cannot be deployed. Mang would be interesting to see an ID use. If you're introduced to yes or no, then yes, you'll be able to learn it with the odds in your favour. That is, assuming the company decides to tolerate your continued existence. I already said I get it. As it stands, you're only more than a penny case of disposal. Closer to a threat than you are to an ally, strictly speaking. Don't get comfortable because the manager intended to treat you with lenience. Step out of line, you'll be the one who pays the price. Put the purple dog down, damn. There was nothing in what Virgilia said that I could argue with. Kira had been a member of the House of Spiders. She might have scored of LCE researchers, and left us plenty of memories we'd rather not revisit. But for now, we're working together. Not contesting that decision doesn't mean we have no hard feelings towards her. Leaving Kira alone with her thoughts, the sinner slipped back into her own business, snacks, idle chatter and conversation about whatever had happened around the LCE. The examination is concluded. I suppose it won't be an issue to let you hear the results together. And before I knew it, Hohenheim and Rausch returned. Every time I hear disposal, all I can think is the Nikolai skill. Wow, there's just no combat in this intervallo. It's all talk. The Chekhov's gunning the extraordinary circumstance, they really are. Was that conclusion first? No, the notion of sword being a sentient one is incorrect. The locus of the will is not the blade, but the scabbard. An ego formed in a rather paradoxical nature. Yes, that would be the most appropriate description. Not a sentient sword, huh? Roche's grumpy dismissal made the scabbard quiver, almost as if it had taken offense. Somehow, I felt like I'd understand what Hohenheim meant by will now. It was a reunion of sorts, one that both gave a tinge of sadness and hope. If the scabbard has its own will, does that mean the owner of that will can be resurrected? It is too premature to deliberate on the matter. The state of existence under question is not one that may define as death at the moment. I assume they asked whether it can be revived or brought back to life, so to speak. Even surviving that survival is a fixed variable, and the reconstitution of the original corporeal body falls within the realm of theoretical possibility, the probability approaches zero, given the limits of today's technology and conditions. We researchers are inclined to entertain even infinitesimal chances, but the terminology of lay people such as yourself, such a prospect would be labelled impossible, wouldn't it? There is no need to fixate on the possibilities of the present, managed Dante. Such matters are reserved for a scientist to hold on to. Right. But we may have uncovered a thread. Some of the greatest restoring Sinner's Raish's memories, though, again, that too is merely a possibility. A far more practical avenue for you to pursue at the moment, nevertheless. And to that end, yes, further analysis on the scabbard itself would be necessary. Coordinate with Alan for your next duty. He should still be in the ring nurse father's quarters. That will be all. Hohenheim cut himself there, clamping his mouth shut if any further exchange might scatter and mess up the theories he'd constructed in our conversation. Alright then, before we go, anyone want to tag along? Munching on food, averting their gaze, the sinners were pretending they weren't interested at all. But going by the way their forks had long since stopped moving, it's pretty clear to me they've been intently listening in our conversation. Where are we to go? Right, sorry, forgot the rest you weren't there with us earlier. Faust, Donkey, Roche, and I've been checking where each back door leads. Oh, and Kira too. The prisoner of war executive manager? We talking about me? Yeah, I guess I'm working with them too, yeah. Best remember to tread carefully. Should you cause even the slightest harm to the executive manager, you'll be held accountable without exception. Yeah, sure, whatevs. Kira needed notice with the mocking pout, but oddly enough, she didn't appear particularly irritated. Anyway, yeah, I think it'd be better if we had a few more people, just to be safe. One of the doors we went into earlier led straight to Ring's corridor. That was a close call. Why have I been pinged again? Oh. Straight up aura. Straight up aura farmed Kira. Project Moon back with a keyframing? So true. So true. I would very much like a company executive manager. I knew I could rely on you, Otis. Your recognition of my loyalty honors the executive manager. I, Otis, understand better than anyone the concern about the parallel working the prisoner was so liable to portray. To have your indispensable self proceed with only a handful of soldiers under your command, this cannot stand. I'm afraid I won't be able to focus on other duties without personally seeing to your safety. I get it, Otis. You've made your point clear enough. Not keen on how I just keel over the moment you summon me. Feels a bit dodgy, that. Better I stick by your side and scrap it out myself. You probably don't need me to come along then. I guess you can just summon the rest of us like you did earlier if shit hits the fan. A research yet unfinished holds my efforts. I shall join you once it has found closure. I don't think I'd be much help whether we're going. I'll pass. I will follow if that is your order, manager. No, it's fine. Just get some rest. It'll probably be okay. I can always summon them again if things get too dangerous. But now I should go see Alan again. Oh yeah, I did see that Heathcliff can actually... Like, the whole Wild Hunt thing is just something that he can do. Like, that's just an ability he has. Heathcliff can just do that. Cannot deploy. You've arrived. I was waiting for you. Honestly, Limbus Company has now rivaled the animation of, what was it? One Punch Man Season 3. We sifted through and isolated the doors with the highest probability of leading to the Ring's gallery. The next step would be able to enter the alternate door you mentioned, but hold up a sec. That's actually gatekeep. She was gatekeeping, chat. Gatekeeping? You say you have more to tell about gate doors? Yep. That door over there? Pretty sure it connects to Corpse Nest. I saw Albina going in, all hyped up about some canned whatever it was. And that wooden door with bandages wrapped around the handle. Papa go into the cross out vengeances. From what the book said, it's probably a turf protected by a thumb subsidiary or something. Can she vague post? Not again. Not more vague posters. Unlike earlier, when she'd offered only vague snippets, even just about a single door, Kira's now feeding Alan a stream of intel that seems solid to even someone's clueless about the back door as me. She's far more cooperative than anticipated. Even after that Alan character roughed her up from what I hear. Yeah, I think she'd climb up out of spite. And just change her mind about cooperating with us. Nevertheless, we mustn't let her guard down, Executive Manager. There's no telling when she'll turn on us. We're gonna base ID sometime soon with Base Rodeo finally being mentally ill with minus sanity. That would be interesting to see. Because she is set up like a minus coin ID, just without the minus coins. But, yeah, frickin', I can literally hear everything they're saying, eh? Alright then, based on the intel, please proceed by investigating the safest door first. As for the high-risk ones, I'll continue checking and let you know which ones you need to enter. Alan tinkered with the devices around him and flashed a couple doors with blue light. Guess that means we'll start with those. Where do you guys want to go first? They all look about the same. Just start with the closest one. Well, Alan did say these are the safest ones, so it shouldn't matter which one. Just as I reached the nearest door, as Heathcliff told me to, Raishi suddenly veered off, stopping in front of another one that stood a few steps apart. This door, it feels familiar. You recognize that door? I think I passed through it a few times when I was little. Hardly had Raishi stopped speaking when a fragmented memory painted over in parts slipped into my mind. Sorry, it huddled up, didn't it? I should have finished my homework faster. Oh, I know, let's go for a walk. But I don't remember much about it. Their memory just now, could it be tied to Orion? Let's start with that door. Okay, this one, yeah? Here we go. Impatient as ever, Heathcliff shoved the door in and strode first. The rest of us followed, including Kira and the other sinners. And this place is, judging by its date, seemed to be a welfare facility located within the nest, most likely a park. Every sod's walking here dragging some animal along. Means I've got money to burn. Proper rich lot, this place. The past Raishi mentioned her memory, and the sight of people fussing over their pets. The pieces clicked together and I voiced the other memory I saw back at the House of Spiders. Did you ever come here with a puppy named Sarah? Yeah, I remember that. Not a puppy, though. Sarah was a bit bigger by then. Sorry, it hurt quite a lot, didn't it? I should have finished my homework faster. Why isn't she getting any better? I gave her lots to eat. Oh, I know, want to go for walkies? You love walkies, don't you, Sarah? Fuck. There's a workshop Dad always visits. The door there is connected to a park. We can go right now. Raishi's childhood memory burned bright in my vision before passing. That was her as a kid? Verily. Such gentleness doth seem most unlike the young Raishi. Hey, Clock, who said you could show them my memories willy-nilly? No, come on, you know it's not something I can control. GG. Kira, no response from Kira on that one? Back in the House of Spiders, I was the only one who could see the visions of Raishi's past. This time, though, her memory seemed to manifest for everyone around, just like what we experienced in Heishkot with Honglu. Which probably means... Why are you staring at me? It's so random, what the hell? Did you not just see that just now? See what, you guys zoning out together? Guess it doesn't apply to Kira. Then again, unlike how it was between Lindai and Honglu, Kira doesn't have any direct connection to Raishi. I guess it makes sense. Was that adorable houndine companion of old young Raishi? Indeed, my one and only best friend. And because of that, Sarah would be locked away in the vault every time I had to depart an assignment, with a spiral driven through her. The first ever leash. Looking back, it might have been a kind of fate had she died sooner. To inflict such cruelty on a voiceless animal, how can such wickedness be born? Up into Sarah in the end. She died before her time. I don't recall why, but there was this day when Sarah wouldn't stop whimpering in pain, and I shut myself in my room crying. You were? Not someone else? Who else? Of course it was me. Even after witnessing the fragment of memory, Heathcliff looked utterly unconvinced. And whilst grieving, Callisto offered a solution, and said he would give me a gift the next day, and what I received was something he called the Beastbone Blade. A Tanto that would whine and yelp in Sarah's voice with every swing. That's fucked up! What? Ooh, no way. I was innocent and creep with a robot, so that's how he killed your dog, huh? No, he didn't kill Sarah. That Tanto was alive. Did you say alive? Bloody hell, a right nut of that psycho. Her eyes were embedded in it like adornments, and they'd stare at me in accusation. Jesus! Oh! Butcherslop. Actual Butcherslop. The tiny heartbeat as I was quaking in fear. It was a horrible sight, and I felt pity. So I shored in what remained of her time with my own hands. Got me thinking after hearing all that. Why just don't want to mess with that art thing then? Let's be honest, I've seen that like that, you want to still wear clear, right? Right, those things you called artworks are also cursed, straight up nightmare fuel. I haven't really checked out the ring artworks outside of being on Us Fathers, so maybe I'm just a noob when it comes to stuff now getting art vibes for real. I felt the same. I was terrified at first, yet as I learnt more, there were some facets that suited my taste. There finds appeal in those grotesque creations? From what you've told me about Callisto, it looks like he failed to stick to his own advice. There's something we used to say. Art is wholly objective, and thus one must never expect the understanding of others. The uncanny, the horrible, is a beauty that lies in the grotesqueness of it all. Can't you say I quite get it, but if you say so. That's not... It's not... You can't just say, oh, art is subjective, therefore nobody will like your stuff and it's fine. That's not how art works. Do you think the Ring considers Live Leak an art gallery? Yeah, probably. Anyway, why do you not understand? You're not an artist. I get used to it, but that bastard Callisto's installation artworks caused night terrors and nightmares for... The scab removed and Roches came to a pause. It trembled, but there was a strange liveliness to it, as though it quivered between fear and anticipation. Night terrors? Crying from nightmares in the House of Spiders? There's actually someone who got scared of Ring stuff back in the day? And check something. We've seen her enough. Let's go back. Yeah, let's... Nothing else worth checking around here anyway. Art is subjective until the art is whatever Callisto is making. Yeah. Callisto isn't entirely wrong, but Callisto is using it as an excuse. Callisto is not saying art is art is subjective, yes. But Callisto's using the excuse for nobody to like his work. He's using it as an excuse to kill people and call it art. That's why. It's full of the artworks covered in sheets of cloth, lost in thought. Right here. There used to be a huge artwork displayed here. I don't know what kind of impulse struck him, but the bastard one about fussing said he needs to practice or he'd lose touch. What's wrong over there? Let's just get the exhibition in your room. I have returned, Yoshihide. So attempting installation art at a somewhat larger scale this time, but around a space in my gallery. Many people are screaming. Dish Yoshihide, Araya has reached an age where she may be introduced in the world of aesthetics. Surely this wouldn't be a problem. Yeah, Callisto's doing it as a cope. It would. You liking it? Me acquiring the taste doesn't mean Araya will. Why, sniffle. Let's get you back to our room. I was hugging something in my arms. It was crying. Sorry. No, too big to be sorry. Thus, sort of memories can never be made whole no matter how fragments are glued together again. We could tell Roche everything you know about Araya, but never truly reach her. I see, this hollow void. This must be Araya. The sensation and motion of what's been emptied began to entangle with Roche's memories. And that makes it possible for us to reminisce about Araya together. The soft rattle Araya gave seemed to show how pleased she was with the small step. Alright, time to check out the next door. We entered several more back doors that Ellen pointed out. Presumably that's the one that Callisto Honglu makes, judging by the fact that it looked vaguely like an arc, the shadow. But unfortunately, none of the place we ended up at stirred Roche's memories any further. Pretty much nothing here. I think we're done. What? How did they get in here? So, startled, Kira pointed ahead, where figures wearing animal masks were hauling what looked like massive lumps of flesh hidden behind a tents of sorts. Those ring assailants from before? Did thou not say they had sealed that door earlier? How then did the villains come to stand before us once more? They probably infiltrated via an entirely separate route, another back door. As you can see, their objective is to be the retrieval of Ring Earth's father's artworks. Get on with it. We need to move as many pieces as we can before we pull out. Wait, but I thought Robo Unk was washed. Robo Unk was washed. It's got so many fanboys and fangirls there. Does artwork possess value in itself, or is it just a case of posthumous premium of death effect? Some of the pieces have already been taken. Of course, they have little value to both their companies. Watching them sweating and struggling to drag those mediocre pieces with them. Pretty funny. But imagining those pieces will be labelled some pathetic notion of heritage connected to my name on the description plaques. Pretty unsavoury. They may be occupied with transporting the objects for now, but they'll likely soon find cause to harm the wafer and the LC personnel stationed here, Executive Manager. It would be prudent to eliminate them without delay, considering the ring's reputation. Otis is right. Better the light than that before they try anything stupid. Guys, looks like another job to do. Lend me a hand. The radio doesn't buzz with the center supplies this time, but it should be fine. They want the Butcherslop for themselves now. Oh, wait, hold on. This is the real Ring music. We can go for some counters. Is Unk early Gen Alpha or late Gen Z? I'd say a mix of both. I think it blends the two. You go for the new road. Oh, hold on. I forgot to put the new Rhodia on. My mistake. My mistake. Hopefully she doesn't become incredibly dated in 2 years. I doubt anyone will be able to understand it in that many years, because it's very much typical. It's like, the line. Okay, cool. Sorry, fixed it now. Okay, let's skip. You never see A-res? A-res needs to be in a row. If it's not consecutive, it doesn't count. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I unironically went to hit space there. Yeah. I've played too much Rona. I've played too much Rona. Ruinapildia. Yep, that I am. That I really am, actually. One-sided guard, really? Okay, well, I mean, you may as well use that. Or is it? Wait, no, you're not him. What am I doing? I'm an idiot. Okay, here we are. I just can't read things. Please stream more NDD. No direct damage? Yeah, no. CBT. CBT. The thing you don't seem to understand is I have not been able to stream for the past few days. Wait, she's... Shin? Huh? I have not been able to stream for the past... LCA question mark, that's cool. I have not been able to stream for the past few days because I have been bedbound with illness. If I was able to stream, I would have. Read the bleed enemies? Sure, I'll do that now. Like, don't worry, I definitely will stream that. I just need to no longer be bedbound. Also, tomorrow's stream may have to be more of this because I am going to have to go. He was sick as fuck? Yeah, no, genuinely, it's awful. You know, I probably have to go now. Which means we'll be continuing tomorrow. Yeah. I wish I could continue, but alas. Actually, I'm not sure if I'll have time or not. Well, we'll see, we'll see. I probably have, like, a little bit more time. I'll be feeling better, I am, distinctly, yeah. It's a 5-hour intervallo. Okay, no, we definitely don't have enough time for that. We definitely do not have enough time for that. 10 to 12-hour intervallo, Jesus. Okay. I see why people are calling it Kanto 9 Part 4. See, why is this not part of the Kanto, but then the previous intervallos... Like, no, the parts 1 and 2 weren't counted as parts of the intervallo. No, sorry. Parts 1 and 2 of Kanto 8 could have been intervallos themselves. Because of Arknights. It all comes back to Arknights. People get annoyed when I blame things on Arknights. I don't get why. It's like, the damage that Arknights has done is irreplaceable. Remember the flavor text included them as lore and flashbacks? I would prefer them to work the lore in organically, because I, frankly, do not care enough to read passives. Like, I don't need to read the passives enough for me to get the lore from them. Parts 1 and 2... No, parts 1 and 2 were them just getting hit. Parts 1 and 2 was the getting hit by the spiders. Yeah. I really wish Limbus had some sort of speed up feature, because it takes so long. It takes so long to get stuff done. Yeah, like, Matthias's entire character is in flavor text. Like, it's pretty major. It's the entirety of how, like, the middle... Oh, sorry, I didn't... I'll read this stuff after this, but, Doesn't the library have entire lore written in key pages that you need to specifically want to read? Yes, but that's different because Ruiner is a well-structured story. And doesn't have nearly as much time. This Lost Rings infiltrator has been eradicated. Is that all? Rish kept glancing around as if searching for someone, but fortunately, no other ring members are in sight. Like, there's something... Like, some people genuinely think Lucio was spineless. There are people that don't believe Lucio wanted to fight back, purely because the entirety of his story is in passives. It's no other ring members are in sight. Right, but where the hell did they come from? Launched the first wave, modded souls legging it, and the back leg had been lurking somewhere else. According to the tracking log recorded by the surveillance devices here, they appear to have crossed over from another corridor. Another corridor? What precisely is the designation of another corridor referred to? The room resembling a shopping mall, the one filled with batches of toys on display. Your company, if I recall correctly, is designated as the corridor of the middle nurse father. Oh. I searched through the kit there. Your assigned tasks here have been wrapped up. Before we set up, do you have any information to share in advance? We are planning to compile a comprehensive encyclopedia cataloging the most notable characteristics of these corridors and other connection loci. Your cooperation will be most appreciated. Kira seemed to hesitate, Nora's nails she was going through in a struggle. Before long, however, she snapped out it like she'd locked in on a decision. Lucio should have had a little more of a hint he was planning to turn. I don't think so. It would have been against his character to have... Because the entire point of that sort of trauma is that you're not obvious about it. You don't show signs. You're along with it until eventually one day you snap or you collapse. He was very well written, it's just that a lot of people don't appreciate him because they didn't read the passives. Hell stuff. Some parts are kind of fuzzy, not gonna lie, but I can recall like 20 places clear enough. I mean, it was home for me and Papa, so... I got nothing. I never once regard that fucker's room as a home, and memories at all, fragments at best. Sky became faint, restless, perhaps I want to comfort Ryoshi in the only way it could. And accompanied by its tremors, it began to move towards the corridor of the middle. He was wanted to, but never had the courage to do so. No, he would have had the courage to do so, it's just that in that sort of situation, you pretend for every moment. Anyway, the first was a single animal. A very quest filed in Ferretti, and the beast sled held the previous specimen. Interesting. Okay, yeah, we're a third of the way through. I'm not gonna have enough time for this. Right, chat, thank you all for coming. We will be back tomorrow with... Well, maybe back tomorrow, depends on if I get free early. Otherwise, we will be back on Thursday for sure. But yeah, with that, I'll see you all. Bye for now.